Hello dear soulmate, you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time of seeing my channel, thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for watching. So in this tutorial, we're going to be learning how to make this dartless cropped corset that has a plunge neckline and a yoke. If you're interested in this, join me where I will get started. So on your pattern paper, as you can see, I've gone ahead to draw a straight line at the side like this, which is going to be my center front, and at the top like this for my shoulder line. I'll just label it shoulder line, okay? So it's my starting line or it's my shoulder line. So from that point, I measured from that shoulder line, I marked 10 inches for my bust point, and I marked 13.5 for the underbust, and then I marked 16 inches for the waist. So for the waist to the hip, I have 9 inches. Okay, so after marking all these points, I went to draw straight lines and label them as you can see there. So now marking my shoulder measurement divided by 2, mine is 15 inches, divided by 2 is 7.5. I marked it there, and from that 7.5 I came down by 1 inch and mark it as well. So I'm going to mark my armhole there by dividing my bust circumference by 6 and adding 1.5. What I have is 7.7 inches rather. Then from that 1 inch point that I marked at the top, I came down by that 7 inches. I marked it and I drew a straight line. So that will obviously be 8 inches from the top, okay, because 7 inches plus that 1 inch I came down is 8 inches. So I marked a straight line there and I labeled it chest line. So on the chest line, I still went ahead to mark the shoulder measurement divided by 2 so that it will align with the top, and I'm connecting it with a straight line from that 1 inch I came down from that shoulder line. So now marking a neck depth of 3 inches and a neck width of 3 inches on both sides, and I'm going to place my curve like this and connect them together as you can see. So from that point, I'm going to connect that neck width to the 1 inch I came down for the shoulder line from the shoulder area, which is going to serve as the shoulder slope. And then this point where I have marked a straight line, I'm going to take the midpoint and I'm going to come in by half of an inch. Okay, so on the chest line, I'll mark my bust circumference divided by 4, which is 34 inches divided by 4, 8.5. So you can see I'm connecting these 3 points together like this, and I'll also make sure that it meets with that 8.5 inches I marked on the chest line. So if you are watching my videos, you should be very familiar with this. So after connecting them together, that place is going to be my armhole curve. Now we are going to go ahead and work on the corset. So take note that this corset is going to be a dartless corset. It's not going to have any dart. Although what I'm marking right now is my bust span measurement, which is nipple to nipple divided by 2. And that will give me 3.5 because my nipple to nipple measurement I'm using for this is 7 inches. So I marked the straight line from that point, from the bust point to the hip. Okay, I'm not going to be using a marker pen for it because I might not use it very well. I just want to use it to place my cup. Okay, so now normally if you're going to use a dart, you're going to be tightening the underbust or putting a dart at the waist, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'll just place this ready-made cup I already made. In my last tutorial, I made a homemade bra cup from scratch, and I also explained that you can use your ready-made bra cup to do it. So whichever one you want, I'm going to leave a link in the description if for those that want to watch the video on how to make a homemade bra cup. So now I came in from the bust line from the center front by half of an inch because I'm trying to get that plunge neckline. So mind you, this is totally dependent on how deep and how long you want it to be. So I just came down by 1.5 inches from that bust line and I connected it together to that half of an inch I came in. So you can see that it's not too deep. If you want it deeper, you can take it down, but I think I will advise that this is much better so that it does not become too revealing. So I'm just trying to make sure that I place my cup in that place I have my under bust line, but note that this is not really compulsory depending on the placement of your cup. Depending on how you want your cup to curve, depending on how you want it to look, that's how you're going to place your cup. Okay, so if you're using a ready-made bra cup, just go ahead and place it the exact way you want it to be, then draw the lines or trace the cup lines at the side all around on the paper. So I'm just going to do that with my ready-made bra cup that I've already made. Okay, so just go ahead and do the same. Okay, so when you are tracing it, you want to be very careful because my paper is not very strong like the ready-made bra cup. I'll just use dotted lines. Okay, and when I'm done, I'm going to trace it out. Please do not use your free hand to trace it like this. So you have to be careful. Even if you're using your free hand, ensure that you have a straight line. Okay, then you can now go ahead and trace it. Don't just do it anyhow. This is an illustration, that's why I'm using my hand, but please don't do it anyhow. Do it well so that you get your measurements correctly. So now that we have gotten our cup then we are good to go. So what we are going to be doing now is that we are going to be imputing our body measurements, just dividing them by 4. So the bust circumference divided by 4, I've already marked it on the chest line. The underbust divided by 4, I'll mark it there. Then the waist measurement divided by 4, I'll mark it, and I'll also mark the hip measurement divided by 4. After marking them, I'm going to connect them together with my curve. Okay, dear Sumit. So at this point, you can just go ahead and extend this area where you have your cup here to the side, because the top is going to be a yoke and the lower part is going to be the corset. So it's depending on what you want to achieve, the shape you want. You can just go ahead and shape it like that. So now that I've done this, I just want you to know that from this cup area, when you are cutting it on your pattern, rather on your fabric, you are going to add half of an inch like this, because you're going to be joining your cup there and you don't want it to be equal. Okay, if it's equal, when you want to join your cup, the fabric is going to be wider than your cup and you will not be able to join it. You're going to have issues there, so you need to add half of an inch. Okay, so after adding half of an inch, you can go ahead and add the other allowance, other part, when you are joining into your fabric. So I'm trying to connect this part together so that when I'm cutting it, it's easy for me. So the upper part is going to serve as your yoke. Okay, it's going to serve as your yoke, and after this we're actually just going to cut it out. But before that, let's just get the hemline. So for the hemline, which is like the corset length, I came down from the waist by 6 inches. You can use 5 inches, you can use 6 inches. This is totally depending on what gives you comfort or for your client's comfort. So now that I've gone ahead to mark a straight line, I'm going to come from the side. I'm going to come up by 1.5 inches. You can use 2 inches, you can use 1.5, and I'm just going to place my ruler like this, and I'm connecting it to meet the line like this. So I'm not going to be using this other line. I'll be working with the new line that I just drew. So by the time I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. Okay, so if you're finding this tutorial very helpful, do not hesitate to give us a thumbs up, like our video, share our video, and also subscribe to our channel so that you can be getting notifications when we upload new videos. Okay, thank you guys for your support. So just go ahead and cut it out gently. You can watch me while I am doing so. And also please note that we have our online classes going on for those of you that are interested. Even if you're a beginner and you want to learn, we have our beginner class. We also have our corset class, our bustier class. Just go ahead and send us a message to our WhatsApp number that is displayed on the screen for inquiries. Okay, so at this point now, you can go ahead and draw lines of where you want your lace, your bonings to be. Okay, this is, you can style this in different shapes. You can make it slanted, you can make it straight. Just go ahead and do it and label it center front, center back, and number it so that when you are joining it, you can be able to trace it. Okay, for our back piece, now I've gone ahead to mark the necessary lines. Okay, the chest line, the bust line, the waistline, the hip line, just like we did for the front. And now I'm going to be marking the measurements. Okay, I'm going to mark our bust circumference divided by 4 on the chest line. Same thing for the waist and same thing for the hip, and I'm going to connect them together. So note that I didn't really work on the yoke at the top because it's just the same thing, the same process we followed in making the front piece. Just go ahead and follow that same process to get your back piece. Okay, so just go ahead and do it. So now I'm going to get the corset length and coming down by 6 inches like I did for the front, and I'll draw straight line, and I'll also come from the side by 1.5 inches. Okay, and I'm going to connect it. But to get a safer result, or you get something that is equal, something that you are going to be sure that it will align, I'll just take the front piece like this, place the waistline to the waistline, showing that they align, and just mark what I have from the side where I have the bust above the bust, and from the waist below the waist, like that, so that I can connect them together. So now after doing that, I'll use my curve, place it there, and connect the hem together like that. And then for the upper part, I'm going to be connecting it with a straight line. So if you want it straight, just go ahead and connect it straight. If you want it to be a bit slanted, because I decided to come down by 1 inch, which I noticed that it's just exactly on the bust line, so I decided to make it slanted like this. So the back is going to have that slant shape at the center back. Okay, it's not going to be straight like what I drew before. So after doing this, it's just to cut out the areas where you have your lacing. So I mark 2 inches at the top and I mark 1.5 inches at the lower part. Rather 2.5 at the top, 1.5 at the lower part, so that it's just going to give me a little bit of this slant shape, and that's what I want. I also indicated the areas where you have the lacing hole so that we can understand. And then now I'll just share this into like 3 parts for where our boning is going to be. Okay, then after doing that, I'll label it just like I did for the front, and that is all for the back piece. Okay, that's basically all. Just label it center back, side back, and number it as well. So after doing this, I'll just go ahead and cut it out. But then I just realized that, oh, this corset piece has a yoke. I actually forgot, and that was why I just went ahead to do the back piece like that. But later I remember that I have a yoke there and I need to cut out the yoke as well. So that was when I brought it out. So first of all, this was what I had for the front and back piece. After cutting them out, you can see how beautiful it looks. Then I remember that we need to put the yoke. So I went to bring the yoke piece for the front and I went to cut it out like this. Okay, so just go ahead and cut it out like this. You can also decide to tighten your yoke piece if you want to. If you're using a net, I would advise you even tighten it, because the net is very stretchy and sometimes it can expand. For the back piece, remember I did not draw this part of the piece. I went ahead to draw it. I told you to follow the same process for the front. So you can decide to style your back like this. Just come down by 2 inches from the center back, from the neck, and then I mark 4 inches from the chest line. Okay, then I use my cuff to connect them together. You can see. So I just indicated holes in that upper part to show where buttons are, and as you can see, I've gone ahead to curve them together. So now that I've curved it together, I'll just go ahead and cut it out. It's as simple as that. It's just the normal way we do our normal corset for those of us that are familiar, and that is going to be our back yoke, and this is going to be our front yoke, and this is what we have at the end. We've come to the end of this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in my next video, and please do not forget to subscribe to our channel.